it was 97, I think, when I sold the treatment and wrote the script for Final Destination. I had the idea. I used it to write an X-Files spec script to get an agent. But then my friends at New Line were like, "Oh, this is a great idea. Don't like send it into the X-Files. Like you should write this as a movie." A friend of mine who started working for a producer, two producers who had a deal at New Line. So instead of me just submitting it to New Line like I normally did, I was like, well, let me be smart and let me go through these producers, get them on board, and then have them bring it into New Line. So that way it's not just, oh, Jeffrey that works over in marketing, has another script he's written. um, so we developed it. It was a long process. It was like 6 months after, New Line had a really hard time getting their heads around death, not having a physical killer in the movie. They're like, oh, it doesn't make sense. You can't fight it. You can't see it. We don't. And we're like, that's the whole point. That's what makes it, different. At first, all the characters were adults, but then Scream came out, and they're like, well, let's try making them all teenagers. I'm like, all right, fine. I always rolled stuff. And then finally, I did kind of cave a little bit and gave them like, during the final fight, you saw like this kind of black, like nebulous kind of entity thing show up. And they were still like, we're not sure about this. And finally the producers are like, well, we're going to take it to Miramax if you guys pass on it, if you don't pick it up. And they're like, oh, we'll buy it. Buy it. So yeah, once they got it, I have to say they pretty much fast tracked it. They went out to a couple of directors. They went to Clive Barker, which was interesting because I love him, and he passed on it. And then Bob Shea, who ran New Line, was like, "What do you think about these guys, James Wong and Glenn Morgan, that work on the X-Files?" And I was like, "Holy shit! Like they're great. I love."
Talking about a full circle.
Yeah.
You're gonna send it into them, and then that's pretty funny.
Yeah, and it was very serendipitous that it went back to them. So.